Would you like this giant piece of art for your house? It's a 36-foot wide, 14-foot high metal and tile mosaic mural called Medical Research Through the Ages. And it's all yours if you want it, and can move it, and can mount it, like, right away. So this thing's been on display in the Manhattan headquarters of Pfizer since the building opened in 1961. Makes sense, given all the science stuff. But last year, Pfizer moved its headquarters to the billionaire shopping mall of the neighborhood known as Hudson Yards. And its old HQ is now in the process of being turned into apartments. This type of work is actually a huge and expensive process that's set to result in 1,500 new units. And some experts believe that converting old office buildings into places to live could help solve housing shortages plaguing cities like New York, where not all of us are lucky enough to inherit our grandma's rent-controlled place in the West Village. Now, this building's new owners are in the process of gutting the place. And in addition to normal construction stuff, like throwing away office chairs, and if the workers are lucky, pocketing any loose Viagra lying around, they also need to get rid of this huge hulking piece of art. And the building's new owners are serious. The Associated Press says the mural's eviction date is as early as this week. Now, given this thing is about as wide as a school bus, you can't exactly hire a postmate to pick it up and drop it off in your living room. And that's a big part of the challenge here. It's estimated that removing the thing alone will cost tens of thousands of dollars, plus whatever it costs to reassemble it in a new home. Pfizer told the AP even they considered moving the thing to Connecticut, but the cost and effort was too much for them, and they're better off spending money on patient-related priorities. Though considering Bloomberg reports America's prescription drug prices in 2022 were nearly 3 times higher than the average drug prices of 33 other high-income nations, a pharmaceutical company claiming the cost associated with what it would take to save something is still somewhat ironic.
What I feel with this piece, I feel a really great sense of reverence in many ways, from the fact that it reminds us of how far we've come in science.
That guy's an urban planner and art historian who hopes that medical research through the ages gets spared, and he's working with the artist's daughter to find a new home for the thing. Now, the mural itself is the work of Greek-American artist Nikos Beljan, who died back in 1966, but actually left behind all sorts of similar works commissioned by big business, as laid out in this website that treats hyperlinks as rooms of an art gallery. And yeah, from the Royal Greek Consulate to the National Turkey Federation, our artist crafted all sorts of pieces, many of which have since been lost to time, thanks in part to companies going out of business, or, turning the conference room into your man cave.
In a certain way, you could count it as a victory that it remained this long. It's so big, it's in that location. The artist is extraordinary, but not super well known.
That guy's with an Indiana nonprofit that cares for local businesses and landscapes. And it is worth pointing out that this art isn't necessarily bound for one of Fun City's beautiful Fuji-like mountains of trash. This monument to scientific innovation, which features abstract shapes of lab equipment and science types like Sir Alexander Fleming, the guy who discovered penicillin, thank you Alex, will likely be broken up into pieces and moved into storage if there aren't any takers, according to the late artist's daughter.
I would like to ideally see it be part of a educational future, whether it's on a hospital campus, as part of a school or a college, or as part of a larger public art program for the citizens of New York City.
While our urban planner art historian hopes this thing will remain on display in New York, that landmark guy from Indiana does point out a peculiar capitalist conundrum posed by this corporate commission piece.
I mean, I don't know that anybody would have a moral or ethical obligation to this piece, in my opinion, because it's a corporate entity, spent its own profit to make it. The artist got paid. It was on view and it represented what that corporation wanted to aspire to be in some way.
No matter where this thing ends up, whether it's the lobby of Eli Lilly headquarters or the backyard of your drug dealer, the late artist's daughter believes the fates of works like these were cast by the corporations themselves, as they valued them enough to commission them, but not enough to preserve them. We, of course, here at your Daily News Refresh value you, and we hope you'll preserve us by liking this video and subscribing too. My name is Greg Ott, and we put out all sorts of new short and long news videos each and every day covering weird, interesting, and strange news stories, like this recent one about the nearly 5 years long Reddit mystery trying to solve which celebrity was depicted on some curtain fabric, who was just revealed to be Spanish model Leticia Sarda. In the comments, Proto Potato just wrote, "Sometimes we have too much time on our hands, I guess." And in a recent interview with the New York Times about how our model is coping with her newfound virality, she made a keen observation: "I can always hide." Me too.